Quentin Tarantino is undoubtedly my favourite director of all time. Over his 28-year career, he has released 10 movies, and today I'm going to rank those 10 movies. I just want to start by saying I absolutely love all of Tarantino's movies. His unique style, the over-the-top violence, and the always awesome scripts are something that I look forward to any time a movie is announced. But today I'm going to break down each movie, why I love it, maybe a favourite scene or favourite aspect, and let you know from 10 to 1 my favourite Tarantino movies. So without further ado, let's get to it. Starting at number 10, we have the 2007 release of Death Proof. Released as part of a double feature alongside Planet Terror by Robert Rodriguez, this grindhouse movie is Tarantino's most simplistic plot, but doesn't fail to pack the punch of a Tarantino movie. For me, the highlight scene is when stuntman Mike finally gets what's coming to him. And boy oh boy did he have it coming to him. Them girls kick the living shit out of him, and that there for me is the highlight of Death Proof, my 10th favourite Tarantino movie. In 9th place on the Tarantino rankings, we have his most recent feature movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This movie was adored by critics and moviegoers alike, and for me personally really got going once Cliff Booth, Brad Pitt's character, dropped that acid. From that moment on, it is pure balls to the wall carnage, top tier Tarantino, and by far my favourite part of the movie. In fact, Brad Pitt's Cliff Booth is the highlight of the movie. He pretty much steals every scene he's in. One of my all-time favourite Brad Pitt performances. Coming in at number 8, we have The Hateful Eight. This Western ensemble piece is the only Tarantino movie that doesn't have a musical soundtrack. It has a score by the absolute legend Ennio Morricone. The movie was also slightly different from Tarantino as it was shot on 65mm. This, for me, was a stroke of genius. It allowed the movie to feel very much like a stage play and had most of the actors on screen all the time. This added to the who can you trust, who can't you trust element, as you was constantly keeping an eye out on different characters to see what they were doing. This movie for me is just an amazing movie from start to finish and is a different feel for a Tarantino movie than we've come to expect. In 7th place, we have the 1997 release of Jackie Brown. This Pam Grier-led crime movie is the only Tarantino movie to be adapted from somebody else's work. It is an adaptation of the novel Rum Punch, and for me the highlights of the movie are the absolutely amazing soundtrack and the performance of one Robert De Niro. When you think of Robert De Niro's classic performances, you think of all his gangster roles. In this movie, he doesn't quite play a gangster. A criminal, yes, but probably not what you'd call a gangster. Playing a laid-back California dude in this movie, I thought he was pretty fucking awesome. And it's one of the most underrated De Niro performances of all time. So in 7th place, we have Jackie Brown. Kill Bill Volume 2 is my 6th favourite Tarantino movie. The movie is very different tonally to the first movie, is much more dialogue driven and focuses on character building, explaining why the bride is as she is. The movie has a significantly lower body count than the first movie does. However, the bride still pays her debts and is an absolute badass bitch in this movie. The bride is my favourite Tarantino character, and that is why Kill Bill Volume 2 ranks so highly on the list. In 5th place, however, we have the movie Django Unchained. Django Unchained is a revenge movie, and the highlight of this movie is definitely the performances from the cast. Leonardo DiCaprio, Christopher Waltz and Samuel Jackson, all three of them are absolutely amazing in this and literally are just going back and forth with unbelievable scenes. The highlight scene for me, however, is the racist wankers chasing down Django and Schultz and discussing whether they should put bags over their head when attacking. That movie scene is absolutely quality and is one of my top 3 Tarantino scenes of all time. My 4th favourite Tarantino movie is his directorial debut, Reservoir Dogs. For me, I just don't understand how someone can make a movie that good on their first attempt. The opening scene where the criminals are discussing Like a Virgin by Madonna and whether or not they should tip is just amazing filmmaking. It opened my eye into the way you can write a character and the way you can add scenes into the movie that are generally not plot focused but character focused, allow you to understand some motivations and get an understanding of what these characters are really like before the actual movie gets going. And I thought this scene was an amazing opening to a movie. The highlight scene is the scene with Michael Madsen's character Mr. Blonde strutting his stuff to Stuck in the Middle with You and cutting a police officer's ear off with a cutthroat blade. Not only my favourite Tarantino scene of all time, but just my favourite scene of all time. Inglourious Basterds has been referred to by Tarantino as potentially his masterpiece. Yes sir, you're right, the movie is a masterpiece, but I believe you have 5 of them, and Inglourious Basterds is number 3 on my list of favourite Tarantino movies. Christopher Waltz is just truly outstanding and puts on one of the best performances you'll ever see as Colonel Hans Landa. Helped massively by just a unreal script from Tarantino. There are so many great characters in this movie, and who doesn't like watching Nazis getting absolutely fucking battered? It's an amazing film. The highlight scene is the Bear Jew coming out of a tunnel and beating the living daylights out of a German general with a bat, and then the other man just absolutely shitting himself. Inglourious Basterds, number 3. My runner-up for favourite Tarantino movie is Kill Bill Volume 1. I've already spoke of my admiration for The Bride, but I'm going to tell you again. The Bride is the best character that Tarantino has ever written, and Uma Thurman is absolutely amazing in her performance of her. This movie has some over-the-top, gory deaths, just violence throughout, and look, I'm a sucker for violence, hence the reason why I fucking absolutely love Tarantino in the first place. The Japanese elements, the samurai sword elements are also reasons why I absolutely adore this movie, and this is my comfort movie. If I'm having a bad day, I stick Kill Bill Volume 1 on and have a whale of a time. What an unbelievable movie. Not only my second favourite Tarantino movie, but a movie which sits in my top 10 movies of all time. Now, let's get down to number 1. Number 1 for me is my favourite Tarantino movie, of course, number 1. But it's also my favourite movie of all time. It's on a poster right behind me. It is the awesome Pulp Fiction. This movie, there's no highlight in this movie. Everything about this movie is perfection. The acting, the script, the music, the non-linear storytelling, the fucking hell. This movie is amazing. Pulp Fiction, number 1. Tarantino, the GOAT. Peace out.